Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lined up, and we'll get started with our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at 767-5500, corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. Got a little bit of a warming trend. I noticed that it's going to be a high today of 68, though. It's not going to get into the 70s, so it's still going to be cool, but it won't be quite as cold tonight. It's going to be 43. Water temperature remains at 73 degrees. Now, I put a chart together last night. I'll show you later on in the show about what our water temperature has done this past month or two. Okay, the river readings, Apalachicola Bluntstown, of course, is staying around a 0.2. It's plunged down to 0.2, but the Choctawhatchee Carabelle, it's going to get on up it's at 2 foot now. It's not, we thought it might get up a little bit higher, but we figured right at 2 foot for the weekend. And the Panama City, the tides, like I said, we're getting in for a weekend of neap tides. Not a lot of tidal flow, but looking at today, Thursday's tide high tide was at 2:22 a.m. this morning. Okay, 2:22, and then the low tide is at 11:50. And then it comes back in, but a high tide at 7:35. We're only talking about a 0.6 foot range, so not much of a range at all on the tide. Now, I just got off the phone talking to the pier, get a pier report, and they said it's been slow this week. It just hadn't been a lot of things going on. But I asked them about the biggest king that was caught during their tournament, and they caught one right at 30 pounds. It was 29 pounds or something. And you know, they're competing. City piers competing against the county pier, and I'm not sure what size the county pier got, but I'll try to find out. But anyway, a 29, 30-pound king is a nice king to catch off the pier. But it has been slow the last couple of days, so it might pick up this weekend. So I want to give them a chance. This weekend, the weather should be pretty good for pier fishing. All right, that takes care of weather. We'll take our break and be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's go over this one more time now. On dove season, it's going to, it's been closed last weekend. It's going to be picked back up on November 10th. Now, the second phase, and we always talk about a second phase of dove season, is always an exciting phase, especially with these cold fronts coming through. They've got some food out there that's been growing natural and all. They'll find it. So we're really looking forward to it. We've got to maybe get a dove shoot in, but it's November 10th through 25th, the second phase. Then it breaks off, and then the third phase is going to be December the 8th through January the 6th. Okay, those are two dates on the second and third phase of dove season. A lot of y'all are interested in it, and everybody asks about squirrel season. It's been confusing because it's always been like this weekend, but opened up on private land back a couple weeks ago. But now the big squirrel season on public land, of course, be opened up this weekend. We mentioned that yesterday on the show, and I know a lot of y'all will be going down for that. Now, got an email here. Let me read this quick email here. This comes from Joe Vandersek. Hey, Coach, I enjoy your show and watch it whenever I'm not out pursuing my own outdoor adventures, and the signal is making it good to Bluntstown. I recall that you recommended a book about white-tailed deer by an author from Alabama. I do not recall the names. I would greatly appreciate it if you would email the information to me. Keep up the good work. Sincerely, Joe Vandersek up there in Calhoun County. I couldn't, when you emailed me, Joe, I could not recall the name of Save My Life, so I emailed Walter, and Walter has the book also. It is an outstanding book on whitetail deer hunting, and the name of the book, okay, is Whitetail Strategies by Dr. Bob Shepard. If you remember, I went down to C&G Sporting Goods. He's a close friend of Ronnie Groom. I went down there and interviewed him when he was down there selling the book, and I took that book home and read it. It is outstanding. Walter read it. Ronnie Groom said it's the best book he's ever read on deer hunting. Really good. So Whitetail Strategies by Dr. Bob Shepard. But anyway, last night I was looking through my bookshelves. I got sections of books on history and this and that. I got a little outdoor sections. And I thought it was in there. I was going to bring it and show it to you, but I couldn't find it. Of course, you know how sometimes things get misplaced. It might be, no telling where it might be, but I find it. But I ran across this, one of my favorite, talking about outdoor books, and look how ragged this thing is. This book is called Water Dog, and I just chuckled. When I picked it up, I just had to look at it, I just had a flood of fond memories. I used to really be into training Labrador retrievers. I used to have some outstanding Labrador retrievers and just cherished spending time with them, and they were so well trained. And I got most of my information, and I did the training myself, but most of it came out of this book, Water Dog. And of course I talk to people too, but it's an old book, and I've loaned it to 2 or 3 different people who've read it and trained their dogs too. But and I don't know if you ever get into training Labradors and all, this old book right here, just pictures and how this guy trained them and all, and it's so good. I just really read it. It's called Water Dog, and the author of that is Richard Walters, and it's first published like in 1964, but I read it later than that when I was like, that was like in the 80s and all. I was training those dogs and had an awful lot of time. But you know, training those dogs just like anything else you pursue, to be really successful at it, you sort of have to just focus on that and let a lot of things slide. And I was really putting a lot of time into it, and I realized, and the dogs are just beautiful and wonderful dogs. And of course, I've always had a Labrador, even since then. But I don't train them with intensity. I just let them play around now. But it's a lot of fun working with dogs and all. So you might want to get that. Now, let's go from deer hunting books and dog books and all. Let's go to. We keep mentioning water temperature, the importance of it. And I was researching last night, trying to find some information for the show just to share with you. And I checked out the water temperature, what it's been. And check out this chart. I'll type it up for me. Let's look back to August. It was water temperature was 85 degrees in August. Then it started dropping in September to 82, and then all of a sudden October 8th, 81. But I want you to look how it starts really dropping, like the 9th and 16th. It goes down to 79. October 25th, it dropped to 78. October 30th, 77, and then it really plunged in November, and now it's down to 73, and it's plateaued out at 73 degrees now for a little while, but it's really, you can see we're just steady dropping. It's just steady dropping. And what that does now, I know a lot of old timers know this and all, but that signals a couple of things. It signals in the bay system, it's cooling off too, and speckled trout, of course, will start, once it stays cooler, they will start going up in those tributary creeks, up in all the bay systems. It could be over in East Bay and Apalachicola Bay, it could be over in Choctawhatchee Bay, going up Black Creek or wherever. Those speckled trout, they're going to be going up those creeks, going for a little bit of warmer water. So just keep that in mind, just understand how it's dropping, and this time of year it does that. And the sun's just getting lower and lower, and it's going to be dropping more and more with the cool air coming in. Okay? All right, let's take our next break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. November's here, and I remember I promised y'all back in October we're going to start having a November sweepstakes, and we're going to give you some prizes all throughout the month. I'm just going to put some stuff together, draw for prizes, and we'll continue drawing for the Tarpon Dock seafood. But today, here, the first package, okay, I'm just going to put little packages together, okay? Here's this one right here, a cap, okay, a nice camouflage cap, it says Rocky on it. Of course, Jeff Peck's a wonderful video, Walk Through Nature. This is just a great video. If you have this and win it, I would give one as a gift. A wonderful video, just great photography throughout our area. Okay, DOA spare parts here, little cooler here, some silver thread, okay, a pair of our floating pliers. It's just piling up right here, and a Mexico Beach Artificial Reef t-shirt with all the sponsors on the back. Beautiful t-shirt and all, okay? And the winner, that's all in package here. Okay, and the winner of this wonderful package, outstanding package, is going to be Ken Harrison up there in the Sand Hills. Ken Harrison in Sand Hills, Florida. I'm going to put your name on it right here on this package, and Ken, give me a call. Either come by Fox 28 Studios right here on 23rd Street and tell them you won it, and your name will be right here on this package. Okay? Now, let's go through some pictures. I get some really good pictures sent to me. I want to first of all, I want to mention this, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow. I have a guest on the show, but we have this wild game cookout coming up at the First Baptist Church. Go and put it on your calendar. It's a week from today, okay, November the 15th, okay? Then our buddy Bill Allen sent some pictures. Bill had a good weekend. He and his brother-in-law Cliff went fishing. Check out this redfish, okay? Look at there. His brother Cliff, nice fish right there. They went in St. Joe Bay. They went to East Bay. They really had some nice fish. Bill is really good about sending pictures in. He's really good about going fishing. And then they got some flounder. Check this out. Some nice flounder. That's the St. Andrew Bay flounder. And I know Cliff was tickled getting those right there. Okay, now, a couple more pictures. Okay, here, look at this picture. Look, this is, they went out gigging one night and had a nice mess of flounder. He didn't call me up to come help me eat them. I don't know what happened. Okay, now, we're going to get in some pictures right here. Check this out now. This is really cool. This is Wall, Dr. Wall up there in Lynn Haven. Y'all know Dr. Derek Wall. This is his son, Colton. This is an 8-point, 120 inches. This is a 7-year-old buck. This is one of these Texas bucks. They went out, some father and son, hunting together, Derek Wall and his son Colton, and had it at the Moore's Ranch in Stephenville, Texas. And that is a nice buck right there. And he's a freshman up at Mosley. Now look, check out the doctor, Derek Wall. Check his. Now this is a good-looking buck. This scored 186 points. It's a 14-point. Now this buck is about 5 years old, and it's really neat to see a picture of the father and son going out hunting. This is a great Texas hunter. A lot of y'all go out to Texas and do some hunting out there. And now this last picture, Tony Bass's brother. This is Ken Bass up there in Valdosta. Shot one time and got both these deer. Shot them with his bow one time, and that's a Valdosta, Georgia buck up there. First time. The neatest thing about this is first time that he's ever went hunting. You know Tony Bass. I fished with him a lot out of Valdosta and at Carabel. But his brother wanted to get into hunting, and they had some land up there. His brother went out hunting on opening day of Georgia season and shot one time and got those 2 bucks. You're talking about beginner's luck. That's beginner's luck. Okay. Now, I got a call the other night from Mike Miller. Mike said, "Hey Winston," he said, I think what I have is 10 different bears up on my property. Would you like to come up there and shoot some video? I said, man, I would love to. And this was a couple days later. Went up there Sunday afternoon. Chip and I went up there about 3 o'clock and set up our cameras. And Chip's a lot better photographer than I am. He has tripods and all set up and everything. But Mike was harvesting those peanuts and plowing them under and all. And the bears, he identified. He told me the 10 different bears, what they looked like. One bear had 3 cubs, and then had 2 big males, and then had one that was crippled, had 3 legs, and drug the other leg behind him. He could identify all the bears. So we went up there Sunday afternoon, and as you'll know, we only saw one bear. We went bear hunting with the camera. Only saw one bear, and he was a big one. He was a real big bear, but he was way too far off to get focused in on him good. But we got some videos, some of this other stuff, a little 3-minute video. I think you would enjoy it. And it just goes to show you, if you just take the time to just drive out to the woods, we'll say this over and over again, just drive out to the woods, you'll be amazed at what all you can see. We're going to have a cottonmouth in here. We're going to see some nice deer. We're going to see a beautiful rainbow. It rained Sunday afternoon up there, and it's just beautiful rainbow. But just in a 2-hour block, in a 2-hour span Sunday afternoon, we saw all these things too, including the bear, which we didn't put the bear on. We're going back up there later and see if those bears are still around when we can. So, Jeff, let's go and roll this video.
All right, folks, we haven't found the bears yet, but we're going to go look for that pot of gold right there at the end of that rainbow. I think it's out in that cornfield. That's beautiful. We just had a heavy rain and come through, and look at that. That is gorgeous. It goes all the way around. That's the whole thing. Look at that. You never know what a Sunday afternoon drive is going to bring. We've done seen a big old cottonmouth, beautiful rainbow, and we're out here bear hunting.
All right, well, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. I was trying to get the cottonmouth to strike at me, not that it would harm anything. And you understand what I was putting sticks and all there, but the only thing that was missing, if it had been some kind of heat source, something he could sense that heat, and he would have popped out at it. But those sticks and all didn't have heat on it. And I wasn't about to put my arm or leg over there, so next time I think I'll rub some stuff together and then put on there. Okay, but it's just a lot of fun playing around with them and unharmed, and they crawled on out of the way. All right, now let's look at our fishing game forecast for today. Our times, we're looking at this morning 6:48 to 8:48, and this evening from 7:12 to 9:12 if you're going floundering, and we mentioned that the other day. This is going to be a great weekend to go floundering. It's going to be cool nights. Not going to be a lot of moon out there, so be an excellent weekend to go floundering. Hope I can go also. I have all kind of other stuff. I have a really good email on bears we're going to talk about. First, let me get into the FWC report. I haven't done a report in 3 or 4 weeks on what their officers do, and it's always entertaining reading about them. And I want to pick out 3 or 4 out of 3 pages. But anyway, here's in Bay County, Officer Carl Hellett was patrolling St. Andrews State Park when he observed a subject trying to swim the Panama City Pass to Shell Island. That's a red flag already. And what kind of moron's going to do that? Officer Hellett knew the current was too strong and the subject would be a hazard to navigation as well as own safety. He flagged down a commercial boat near the jetty and asked for assistance. The boat captain agreed and transported Officer Hellett to the subject swimming in the pass. They pulled the subject on board and transported him to St. Andrews State Park. And Officer Hellett discovered the subject had an active warrant out of Collier County. The warrant was confirmed, and he transported the subject to Bay County Jail. So I guess he was still running from the law, swimming across the pass like that. This is another one. Officer Mike Goodwin was patrolling St. Andrews State Park. That's telling you something. That's just too. And a lot of these people are out-of-town people coming in. He observed the subject walking the jetty rocks carrying a fishing rod and a cooler. Officer Goodwin asked the subject if he had any luck fishing, and the subject said, quote, "just some small ones." And then he pointed to the cooler. Officer Goodwin inspected the cooler and found a red drum inside with its head and tail removed. The subject knew the fish was a redfish. Officer Goodwin issued a notice to appear. Okay, one more over here in Washington County. Officer Lane Kinney was on water patrol in Choctawhatchee Bay and stopped a vessel to conduct a boating safety and fisheries inspection. Upon his approach, Officer Kinney noticed that 2 wires were laying across the bow of the vessel, and that wires continued down into the water. Further inspection revealed the wires were connected to a small shocking device concealed in a snuff can, and then connected. This is true. I know it's hard to believe, but it was connected to a snuff can, and then connected to the battery of the vessel. The subject had no fish in the vessel. However, he admitted to attempting to take freshwater fish by shocking. A citation was issued for attempting to take freshwater fish by shocking. Okay, it's amazing these things still go on, but it's a challenge every day to these officers. But you would think the shocking part would be over by now, but obviously not. And then the guy swimming the pass. I've known a couple of people swim that many years ago when there wasn't a lot of traffic. It is almost impossible now, other than just the current and all, just a great safety hazard, but just the amount of traffic coming in and out of the pass in this day and time. The last one I knew swimming in 1971, I think. There wasn't near as much traffic. Okay, now this other email is really lengthy, and I don't have time to get into it, but just briefly I will tell you. But let me read the short email first. Y'all have been really good about sharing these emails. This is from Mark Bell up there in Bonifay. Hey, Coach, Wesley and I caught our limit. Now, he sent this last week. We caught our limit this past Sunday on Pompano at the City Pier, and that was good news. Limit down. Wesley caught his first flounder ever, and he won that tournament. That's the last weekend tournament on the biggest flounder for the weekend. And could you enter each of us in a November drawing? And I sure will, Mark. I got you and Wesley in it. So that was a little. I got a couple of reports. That school of Pompano came through and for a day or two, and some you got to be up there, you got the right place at the right time, and Mark Bell and his son were out there then. So anyway, keep the cards and letters coming, the emails and all, the pictures, and we'll share them and tell people what's going on. And November's always right after October. November's always been a really good month, but it's still good weather and all. I don't have time to get into this. I'm gonna run out of time tomorrow. Got a special guest coming on, and you're going to really enjoy him. Meanwhile, today, you have a great day, and you do something good for somebody, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.